Apparently, Kotaku has an article. My bad for not having the music started. Kotaku has an article breaking down the meta in Marvel Rivals Season 2. And as somebody who plays the game and follows the meta of the game very closely, I may not tune into every tournament and stuff like that and watch a lot of professional stuff, but I do have enough of a functional understanding of the meta to be able to have an in-depth conversation about it. And I saw this article and I said, what a good excuse to finally talk about the Marvel Rivals meta. So let's see what they say. Then I'll go off of that and let you know how accurate they are or are not, depending on what they say. The dev team made a few changes to help characters out and give them places where they would become strong or remain strong without being too dominant. But there are some exceptions. Doctor Strange. Oh, my fault. I coughed in the middle of saying Doctor Strange. With the addition of Emma, who counters dive, and as a Captain America player, it was not fun to jump into the backline and just and then she just swings her body, or she swings her body to the side, lifts her leg, and then kicks me in my dome, and then I go against the wall, and that's half my health as Captain America. Then on top of that, God forbid you're playing against supports that know how to put down the heals and pick up the damage. Yo, you're really getting annihilated, nigga. You're getting destroyed. So yeah, they are right, because in the last season, dive was, I wouldn't say was broken, but dive was and still is pretty strong. Like, it is very strong. Like, just about every team comp but 5 DPS works. Every team comp but like 5 plus DPS works in this game pretty much. Now, how easy is it gonna be to get that to work? But there are certain like scenarios where you could pull that off. With the addition of the dive meta starting with the end of season 1.5 has already come to an end. That's true. A lot of people that counter dive have gotten stronger. Like, for example, Namor with the green laser squid that shoots you from halfway across the goddamn map. Now when you try and run away, you're cooked. Like, the slowing squid, I felt like was manageable as somebody playing dive, as long as like I ping it for my DPS. And most Namors don't position squids defensively. Most of the time they put the position them offensively. So like, they'll put them in the middle of the lane, they'll put them on a very easy wall for me to shoot with my right hand advantage, which is a concept a lot of people seem to not understand about this game. And I'll pull up some random footage I have in one of my folders to show you right hand advantage, because like, I feel like it's a simple concept that people just tend not to understand because they've never been introduced to the idea of it. Boom. So some random footage. There we go. Okay, so to explain right hand advantage, you see how, wait, hold up, let me do one where you can see my crosshair a little bit better. Okay, wait. This is a good, no. Okay, this is a better example. So you see how your character is mostly on the left side of the screen? That means if this whole part of the screen over, so if this part of the screen and over was covered, and you're going against an opponent that had to hide behind cover that covered this part of the screen and over to the right, you have the advantage because you can more safely poke and peek and throw out damage and throw out projectiles to them. Because if the cover of your body is on this side over, not only is it harder to see when you shoot, but it's also, you have to expose your entire body every time you want to do damage to them, while they can hide behind a wall and shoot you and make their hitbox as small as possible for you to shoot. Meaning you have to advance and come closer to them and leave cover more often and harder than them to be able to do any reasonable damage to them. That's the basics of right hand advantage. A lot of people who don't understand stuff like that, like, just get dicked, period, when they play Namor, because they would place their squids. Because like, a lot of people, when I see them play Namor, because Namor is not a character who's played often in higher ranks, I feel like the average Namor player has nobody to look up to really, because again, the nigga's always banned. placing your squids defensively is an important thing. If you see the enemy team is popping your squids, what you do is you have one squid, because a lot of people who play Namor throw out both squids at the same time. You throw, unless you have, when you don't have the power up, the team up, you throw one squid and use that to passively help you deal damage. When you get dove, or when the opposite team is about to ult, or somebody like a Thor is about to press your backline, a Captain America, a Wanda, then you throw the other squid that you keep in your pocket to either discourage them from continuing with their dive, doing damage to you or the supports, or to try and kill them, like through their ult, or try and put pressure on them so that they have to act differently while they're ulting. So yeah, a lot of characters that previously countered dive weren't that great at countering dive, namely Namor, even though that nigga was banned every fucking game. Excuse me. While you can certainly still play dive heavy comps, you'll need team coordination. It's not the dominant force the community anticipated. It was never a dominant force. Triple healer was always way more dominant. Triple healer and double shield was always way more dominant in the previous couple metas. Excuse me. So what else is leading the pack? Enter the classic 2-2-2 or the new triple vanguard, one duelist and two strategist lineup. I'm not gonna lie. A lot of people are saying that triple tank lineups are valid in this game, but I would push back on that for the simple fact that you can ban 4 characters a game, right? You can't ban all the tank busters. Because for example, if you're in a team that's playing a dive comp, you have to ban Namor. So that means either Bucky or Wolverine is still available. And if you ban Bucky and Wolverine and go double shield tank, guess what you're doing? You're leaving yourself open to them playing a dive comp on you. You see what I'm saying? So like everything in this game has a counter, but triple vanguard is one of the easiest lineups to counter. Like the only time you should ever go triple vanguard is if you're in basically bronze 9, you're in silver 62, or gold 1/3. Like you're 1/3 of the way in gold, so you're still getting silver 17 lobbies. That's the only time you should ever run triple guard. Because above that, I promise you, there are 3 main characters that are tank busters. And depending on what tank you're playing, that number can go up or down. But 3 characters in particular that are designed to help destroy tanks. And then on top of that, if your team is just good, they're killing the backline before they're killing the tanks. So it all depends. Other notable balance changes include new team-ups for Emma Magna, blah, 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 blah. I'm assuming that if you're watching this video, you know about the new team-ups. Rocket has always been great, but with vastly improved single target healing. And yes, that's true. His orbs being able to stack made him go from one of the highest healing output characters in the game to now I wouldn't be surprised if he is the highest healing output character in the game, and especially now that he has a defensive ult. Like when you watch, besides the obvious people who are like gimmicks, like one no damage rocket and no healing rocket, or like when people play DPS rocket, when you watch somebody who's actually genuinely playing rocket and they're going back and forth in between healing and doing damage, rocket passively heals very well while he's able to do damage. And a lot of people don't understand this because they just think Rocket is a character. But when you play against teams where Rocket actually isn't just sitting there being a heal bot, Rocket is very anti-dive because he can put a lot of pressure on you with his gun. Because a lot of people try and shoot from their backline to the other team's backline with Rocket. But when somebody's up close, Rocket will shred you. Wait, is the music still on? Okay, it is. It was just for the quiet part. When Rocket is on a team and you dive him and he shoots you, he can actually do a lot of damage from close to middle ranges. So a lot of people play Rocket wrong because it's easy to just and heal bot with him. But like otherwise, yeah, Rocket's a really good character, and he's really especially good at anti-dive because he himself doesn't fucking die. And even if he's running away from the team, if he was playing well before, he has a bunch of orbs out passively doing healing, and then the other support can't chase 2 supports at once. Previously, in the previous season, oh yeah, you could chase Rocket around and take him out the fight effectively. But now that his healing orbs stack, meaning that he's able to get his healing out more, chasing Rocket ain't gonna help you. You have to kill Rocket now. Rocket has to die when you chase him. Rocket has always been great, but with vastly and 2-for-1 and the ultimate that both boosts damage and negates several one-shot combos that kill through other support ults, he is a borderline must-play character now. I don't know about that. And for my money, in the running for best strategist in the game. He was already a must-play character because, not necessarily because he was good, but because he was simple, and you know if you pick Rocket, you could do your job of being a strategist. And again, a lot of people think that playing strategist means heal bot. That's why a lot of these DPS that are forced to go strategist, because now former tank strategist players are on strike and we're playing DPS, they're learning, oh, support's got to do more than heal. Because when you're playing as a support, you quickly realize most DPS want you to out heal their shitty aim. And sometimes that's possible. Sometimes you can make somebody an invincible mini baby tank by heal botting them for like 2 seconds while they're in a fight to win that fight. But when it's time to run that 1v1, you got your full health bar and they got their full health bar. And it's a battle of who can best the other person better, and they lose, that's when they start crying, GG, no heals. But hey, it is what it is, DPS. Now you're in the seat. Now you got it. Now you got to get here, GG, no heals every fucking round, even though you're trying to heal somebody through stupidity. Scarlet Witch is also stronger with her team up with Doctor Strange, which is true. Because now that Doctor Strange is more balanced, he's not in every game anymore, but he is getting a higher pick rate because that Scarlet Witch team up makes her so much of a better character. Because they already buffed her and made her a better character. But on top of buffing her, they gave her a team up that makes her amazing. It's like, oof. I love to see it. My Scarlet Witch family gets to eat. My Scarlet Witch family players gets to eat. Although he has fallen from grace a bit with his lower damage and increased survivability, his high damage set him further apart from Magneto previously. True. Doctor Strange used to be out here moving like a DPS. He was able to do so much damage. Now that they nerfed it a bit, I still don't think it was a significant nerf, but it was enough to be noticeable, you know? Like, also, he had a combo that could kill squishies through support ultimates. You couldn't kill whoever's ulting themselves, but let's say, for example, you were Doctor Strange and you did the Daggers of the Knock whip combo with the shield canceler 2 in there to stop his healing, and then you use the Maelstrom of Darkness, you could kill through a support ult. So now that they nerfed that and he's not able to do that anymore, he's way worse of a character. His damage set him Moon Knight is also in a better spot. He's actually a somewhat viable character. He's in the middle of the pack. He's still not great, but I feel like he's able to sustain more at higher levels without having to depend on his fucking sitting in a tree and shooting at people who aren't paying attention and shooting him back. Now that he can duel and brawl and protect himself a little bit better, if Moon Knight gets dove, I'm not saying it's an instant guaranteed win, but now he can actually fight back. Because as a dive, that was my favorite person to dive. Just dive Moon Knight, punch the Onk, run away, come back after like 2 seconds, punch him in his skull again when he doesn't have another Onk, or make him waste another Onk trying to kill you, run away for 2 seconds, come back, destroy the Onk, then punch him out. Nothing he could do. Also, his ult. Now that he gets it every 5 seconds and they brung his ult back closer to what it was in season 1.0 / season 0, now you can actually escape his ult. Because it felt like all of season 1.5, if Moon Knight ulted, you heard the moon and you were standing in it, nigga, you were dying. You were dying. And I know part of that was a glitch, but even still, that shit felt bad, bro. That shit felt bad. Oh yeah, they did make his grappling hook better, but I feel like his grappling hook was fine before, and this is just a slight buff. He gains bonus health from his secondary fire. Yeah, that's what I was saying makes him better of a dueler. Penny Parker and Mr. Fantastic are also better in this patch. Penny Parker is way better. I feel like now she's actually a viable tank because even without the shield health, she's able to frontline and duel a little bit more, which was mostly her main problem before. But because she was an off tank, they gave her lower health to try and balance it out. But in her case, that didn't balance it out very much. Now it feels like she's a viable tank because, like, you don't shoot at Penny twice, headshot her a couple times, and she just fucking dilapidates and disappears. Now you can out damage her web healing with regular. You can't just out damage her web healing with regular headshots on regular ass characters. Mr. Fantastic are also better in this patch. Yeah, his ult is actually scary because now you can't just instantly kill him out of it. A, and B, now that people are realizing how often and how hard he can CC you with his ult. GG's. Shoring up the weaknesses in Penny's health pool and Reed's ultimate respectively. Although I always knew he was good, the recent Human Torch buffs have turned him into a meta pick, which I've been saying Human Torch was good. He just wasn't meta, so to speak, because he was weak. He was a dive flyer that previously couldn't dive. Now diving a backline is a real option for him, which was what his problem was mainly in the last patch. It's like he's a whole flying character with a shotgun that couldn't run up on nobody. Like, you see how that sounds? Like, imagine somebody that has to stand 30 feet away in the sky just floating, shooting you with a shotgun. Wasn't that good before, but now that they buffed it, oh, it's that good now. And you could dive backlines with a little bit of shield, so you can duel and brawl and like finish off targets a bit better. Oh yeah, he's very strong now. He was already strong before. I just felt like people were sleeping on him. Because I even said during the trailer when he came out, like, yeah, this character is going to be real strong, guys. Watch out. Although I always knew he was countering powerful new characters like Emma. No, the fuck he doesn't. She could become CC proof, grab him, slam him against the wall, and insta kill him. I know from experience. If he still has the same cheaper town hall problems the rest of us do with the new and improved Iron Fist. I feel like new and improved Iron Fist doesn't feel any different. I know technically he's different, but I don't play Iron Fist, so I'm just speaking of the viewpoint of going against Iron Fist. Going against Iron Fist feels exactly the same. Unless he pops parry, your whole backline has to shoot him. Hulk got some love too, which is nice, but it doesn't bring him back into the hard meta just yet. I feel like Hulk was never hard meta beyond his team up. Like, the thing about Hulk that made him a good pick was not that the Hulk was good. It was that the Hulk can get some satisfactory value if you master his gameplay loop, and his team ups made the people in his team up, which previously was Doctor Strange, who was really fucking good, and Iron Man, who went from an okay character to, oh my god, like it just buffed them so much. It was worth the risk of taking a weaker tank just to have that team up. Hulk got some love too. Partially because he has well-known and easy counterplay, and there are simpler and more robust or just as powerful options in Thing and Emma. That's true. Like, if you need somebody to do Hulk's job, I don't know about Emma, but if you need somebody to do Hulk's job, yeah. If you like that playstyle, you're better off playing the Thing, because he does Hulk's job better. Only thing the Thing can't do is punish flyers, but I'm not gonna lie, the average Hulk player is not punishing flyers, even at higher elos. Black Widow, Hawkeye, and Human Torch have also been buffed. The Black Widow buff, I would say, is significant because now she's way harder to dive, and I say this as somebody who plays dive. Hawkeye, I think that was more of an adjustment. Hela got some tweaks to reduce her survivability slightly, which amounts to a slap on the wrist for the always meta character. I don't think so. Because it's way easier to dive Hela now. Like, I won't say way easier, but it's increasingly easier than it was before to dive Hela. And I think that Hela's weakness should be very pronounced and very exploitable, because that is her only weakness, in my opinion. Hard diving her. And unless you're playing against a god tier Celestial plus Hela, you can dive them for free. And I don't even know how you get to Celestial with Hela, because she's banned like every fucking game. Some tweaks to reduce her, which amounts to a slap on the wrist. Winter Soldier also got some slight nerfs to his ultimate, but not the right nerfs to his ultimate. That shit is still annoying. And with the Rocket team up removed, he is weaker. He's not that much weaker. I would say his purpose and utility has changed, but he's not weaker. He still counters everything. He counters dive. He's still able to take flanks. He's still able to brawl, duel, and shut down tanks and shred tanks. He's still able to CC very well with his gun that does damage to the person it hits and everybody behind them. Like, he just got, only thing that he got away with in this patch is losing that team up. But I'm not gonna lie, the fact that Bucky can pull a tank from the other team's front line to your middle to back line, I think it's still great. And with the rocket team up removed, he is weaker, but don't let that fool you. Expert players will still run circles around opponents with his kit. That is very true. Overall, the meta is in a good spot. I wouldn't say necessarily it's a good spot. I would say it's a fine spot. If they mean good by, like, if this was a tier list, this is like a B tier meta, I would say yeah. Because there's nothing in the meta that's too broken. There's nothing in the meta that's so extremely weak. It just makes you want to flip out. So yeah, I would say we have a decent meta right now. Because, like, one of the things that plagued Overwatch is, even from early Overwatch, like, yeah, there were strong characters, but there were strong metas. And then we don't talk about the GOATS meta. When it comes to Overwatch, we don't talk about two things: the GOATS meta and Brigitte. We don't talk about the GOATS meta. Because that shit, I don't know why the devs didn't try and hop on trying to figure out a way to fix that up a little bit sooner. And the efforts they did try fucking failed because they nerfed it and it was still good. So, like, they just gave it an insufficient nerf. Anyway, going back to an actually good game that gives us the story we asked for in the ways we want it. Yeah, I think the meta's in a decent place right now because I feel like there's nothing in particular in the meta that's too overbearing. Like, playing a dive comp is just as viable as playing a 2 tank 3 strategist comp. It's just as viable as playing a 4 DPS comp, which I know that's an uncommon comp, but 4 DPS is really good in situations where the other team has, let's say, a Wolverine and a Bucky. If you have a Wolverine and a Bucky on the opposite team, nobody on your team should be playing tank at all. Y'all all just gotta win y'all 1v1s and delete Bucky and Wolverine. So in certain situations like that, like, yes, a 4 DPS lineup can work very well. 3 strategists, 1 tank, 2 DPS, 2 tanks, 1 DPS, 3 strategists work. Like, there's different lineups that work within this meta, and it's all dependent on your mode and stuff like that as to how well will they work. But, like, yeah, there's different stuff in this game that'll work, and there's no one thing that's so overbearing. It's just like, I feel like no character in this game is truly useless. It's just a matter of if you understand their utility and if you play into your team's strengths with the comp that they have right now. And then, God forbid, you're actually playing on a team where people are coordinating, then you're really gonna be able to do whatever the fuck you want. But now let me restart the VOD before I start talking about this.